in there. And for a lot of families, there'll be a lot of children, grandchildren who'll be heading off to university. And that is the big step, isn't it? Because you dissipate all over the country, if not Europe. Now, high street pharmacies across England are now offering free meningitis B vaccine for many, many, many young people. Now, I caught up, as I said, with Peter Horrocks. He's a community pharmacist, to find out what prompted the rollout.
Earlier in the year, there was the outbreak in Kent, where a number of students unfortunately passed away, and we had quite a serious kind of response there from the UK Health and Security Agency. Now, great news is that the government has now put in a vaccination campaign for young people. So anybody who's heading off to university, or that age group, 17, 18, will be entitled to get a meningitis B vaccination as part of the NHS.
And how important is it now people take this seriously and think, no, it's not going to happen to me? It happened in Kent. But it could happen anywhere, couldn't it? It
could. I mean, fortunately, it is a rare condition. However, when outbreaks occur, it can be serious, and it can be life threatening.
Do we know why this outbreak occurred? Has there been any sort of inquest into it, to why it's sort of correlated in one area?
I mean, it's caused by spreading, and when university students get together,
They're transient, aren't they?
Yeah, and that can be because of cramped living conditions in halls of residence. It can be socialising in the likes of nightclubs and social events. And when you get a large group of people who are mixing who haven't previously mixed before, that's when diseases can start to spread, because you get people who have had no previous exposure.
And is this the time to think about it now? Because here we're coming into the summer. There'll be students wanting and thinking about going to universities. Is it now the time to get it done?
It is, yes. So the vaccination, the full vaccination course is 2 doses. Okay, and once you've completed the 2 doses, that is when you'll have your best level of protection. The 2 doses needs to be given a minimum of 4 weeks apart. So if you're wanting to get your vaccinations done and be ready before leaving the area and going to university, you need to start now. However, the campaign will be running towards the end of the year. So if somebody is a little bit delayed in getting that, there will be availability. The other important thing to notice is some people might think, well, actually, I am here now, but in 4 weeks' time, I might have gone to another town. So it is a national service, a national campaign. So people will be able to get their second dose when they move away. Equally, we're a university town here in Middlesbrough. We will have students who come to us from other areas of the country. They'll be able to get their second dose when they come to the town as well.
And that's the key, isn't it? Because we've got Middlesbrough University, which is brilliant. Durham, right, on a massive university. And when I've said, people are transient, people are coming from all over the country, if not the world. Mm-hmm. And you're right, students do live in cramped accommodation. It is rife for this sort of thing. Can we get the vaccination at the pharmacy, or do we have to do it through a GP?
So the only place to get this vaccination will be community pharmacy.
Right.
Okay. This is a significant change in the approach that the UKHSA has taken this year, based upon the successes of the previous vaccinations and the fantastic accessibility and availability that people can find from pharmacies. Across the Tees Valley, we have about 80% of pharmacies that have signed up and committed to deliver this service currently. So we've got really good widespread availability of this.
How does it work? How, so if, say my son or my daughter is off to university, how would they book it? What would happen? If you could talk us through it, please.
Yeah, so the NHS has set up a booking system similar to the booking systems we've used for flu and COVID in the past. So if you go onto the NHS website and search for book a meningitis vaccination, you'll be able to find the participating pharmacies and the booking system to book that. So bookings are open now this week for vaccinations that can be administered from the 20th of July. But as I said, that window of opportunity runs from the 20th of July right through to the end of the year for first doses, and then there'll be second doses available until around about March next year.
What is the age criteria?
So the age criteria specifically is people who are in year 13 now, so those just coming towards the end of college and then heading into potentially university. But there's also an extra eligibility, so people who are up to the age of 25, if they've been delayed in going to university or going into further education in a residential setting, they can still access the vaccination. So essentially 17 to 25 is the broad aspect of who's eligible, but specifically those that are moving to university if they're not in year 13.
And I think all the information will be on the website for that, if you need it on the NHS website.
Yeah, it's all there on the NHS website. There will be an assessment with the pharmacist at the pharmacy. So you could, if you want to phone up your local community pharmacy, ask them if they're participating. They may well also have walk-in availability outside of the national booking system as well.
It's time of the essence with this, because as you say, we are into July, September, we get the freshers going in. Is the quicker you get booked in, the better?
Yeah, the sooner you complete your vaccination course, the sooner you've got your protection.
Now the thing is, like, since the COVID vaccination, there's been a lot of misinformation, a lot of hype, a lot of scare about vaccines. Are you still struggling to alleviate that?
There is always going to be some vaccine hesitancy from certain areas of the population, and what I would like to kind of clarify is that this vaccine is incredibly safe. It's incredibly well used and tested and widespread use for a number of years. But what's really important is that what we've seen since the introduction of meningitis vaccinations is a real significant drop in the number of meningitis cases that have presented over recent years. What we're dealing with now is a section of the population that are unvaccinated and therefore are at risk, and that's why it's a targeted campaign.
Is it free, or is there a cost attached to it?
So for those who are eligible in the NHS eligible criteria, it is a completely free vaccination. We might also find that some people don't fit into that, as in they might be a little bit younger or they might be older and have missed the opportunity. And then for these individuals, there will be opportunity to purchase it privately at participating pharmacies.
And whilst you're here, here we are, we're in some of this is our third heat wave this season. Pharmacies play a big part in this for getting preparedness for the warm weather. Have you seen a spike in people needing your services?
Yeah, there is, and I guess at this time of year, the key things that happen is it's sun protection, it's insect bite avoidance, and treatment of insect bites if they become infected. Which the pharmacy has a great service called the Pharmacy First scheme, where we can treat infected insect bites, and also the other summer related things such as hay fever, of which there's a wide range of products and solutions that the community pharmacy can help you with.
The reason I mention it is because I think still there's this thought that their first port of call will be the GP, and waiting at that 9 o'clock phone call. But you can go to your pharmacist, and there's a suite of things you can be doing at your local pharmacist, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a wide range of services, and yeah, I'd be on for hours if I listed all of the things that can be offered from the pharmacy. Pharmacies are incredibly accessible. It's an open door, generally without appointment, and should be recognised as the first door of the NHS.
And if anybody has any queries, your pharmacist will always be there. If you want to go along, every high street has one, go along, have a chat, see what service is there, and so that they can give you that information. You don't have to wait and say, well, it might not be for me, and maybe you say, I can't go online, but you can go and talk to your pharmacist, can't you? You can, and that's a reassuring thing, that the pharmacy is accessible, and you can have an appointment and speak to a trusted healthcare professional, and they will be able to assess your symptoms and decide whether the treatment can be provided from the pharmacy or whether you need to be escalated, and at what point that is. What we want to do is make sure that people access care at the right level. So if it can be treated in pharmacy, go to a pharmacy. If it needs your GP, then the pharmacist will be able to advise that. Or if it's more serious, they'll be able to watch out for the red flags and the signs and symptoms that might need an urgent escalation into A&E. And how would we find out all the information again? Again, if you could go to your pharmacist and have a chat, if you can't get online, but if you could go online, what is the website? Yeah, so the website is on the NHS UK website, and if you just search meningitis B, it'll come there up there as one of the top lists. You're an absolute legend. Thank you very much. Thanks, Gary. There you go. So if you have a family member heading off to university and they're within that age cohort, it's free. Get booked up. nhs.uk/book-MenB and check it out, because it is worth doing. 1 million people will be eligible to get that free injection. This is your BBC Radio Tees. These are your stories. If we find out stuff that is of benefit to you, we will bring it your way. But it works